Hey, what's up everybody out there? I'm Jakejames Lugo and welcome to the channel. So I want to talk about some really important stuff, things that I feel like I gotta open up my big mouth about and stuff that I feel is important to speak on and really discuss with everybody. I feel like we have a really big problem within the gaming community, within the gaming hemisphere, and it's something that I feel like we've really struggled as a community, as a hobby, as a bunch of people that love gaming. We've really struggled with getting over this and being better than this and overcoming this real issue over the last few years. And it has to do with a number of different things. And it's also related to some stuff that's going on right now. This is what really prompts me to talk about this. And again, if you don't know what I'm referring to, there's been a lot of stuff going on with Mass Effect Andromeda. A lot of people seem to be blaming one in particular individual for all the issues that the game has been having, you know, the quality of the facial animations and all this other stuff. But people seem to be putting a lot of blame on this one person, even though it's a bunch of people that have worked on this game. But that's not the heart of the issue that I want to speak on. I want to talk about this outrage, I want to talk about this anger, and this displacement of, you know, this frustration that I see a lot within the gaming community. And it's something that I feel like is a real problem with us, but in particular as a hobby, as you know, a particular passion that I've seen that's grown exponentially and kind of lingered over the last few years. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Ali Rose Marie Leos, okay, I hope I pronounced her name wrong, is being blamed as the lead animator on Mass Effect Andromeda for all the facial animations going awry and looking bad, looking hokey, and basically overall the quality of the game that Mass Effect Andromeda is right now. It seems like there's this big group of people that just seem to be throwing a lot of vitriol her way, in particular because they want to blame her for the way that that game turned out, specifically in that department of the game. And it's a real shame because not only do a lot of people don't understand that there's a bunch of individuals that work on a particular game. It's not just one person that does that. You find a lot of that in the indie space where usually it's one person wearing many hats and doing a lot of different stuff. But when it comes to big AAA, big budget games, it's usually a team of individuals that work on a particular game. But that's not even the real problem here. What the problem is that people have this frustration with the way that their game turned out or something that they were really highly anticipating, and they just want to displace their anger somewhere. They just want to throw their frustration, they just want to throw their hate, and they want to throw their bad emotions towards something in a means to rationalize how it turned out and like why they're feeling that particular way. And that's a real problem because we've seen this linger in the gaming community for more than the last couple of years. We saw this with stuff that went down with Zoe Quinn, with Anita Sarkeesian, with Brianna Wu, and a whole bunch of other people that are out there. Now, the real thing that a lot of people seem to get caught up on is that a lot of it is really targeted at women, and that is a real problem in and of itself. You could have a whole discussion about that, but really, let's get really to the heart of the issue. It's just this need to throw hate and throw vitriol and throw frustration at individuals, one specific individual, rather than just, you know, facing the problem head on. And I think that kind of sucks. This is something that the gaming community as a whole, I'm talking about the entirety of the gaming community and just our industry in general, has suffered greatly for a long, long time. And what's even worse is that there's people that are out there, you know, whether it's in the media, whether it's in the development side, whether it's even on the consumer side, where it's just people that are just talking about games and such, that have tried to be better, that have tried to set an example and like lead by example and show people like you don't need to do stuff like this in order to kind of, you know, help the gaming community grow, help the industry flourish and stuff. And it feels like sometimes those people get drowned out or they get thrown under the bus in favor of like all these other individuals that's like the vocal minority that feel like they're the kind of like gospel law of how the gaming industry should work. Especially those individuals that feel like they just want to blame different things. They think that the media is corrupt. They think that the development team is like, you know, trying to push their political views on people. They think that people that just don't agree with them on the consumer side are immediately part of the problem, and that's like not the case whatsoever. It's a real big issue that I feel like not enough people are really doing anything about. A lot of it is internal reflection. A lot of it is people that feel like they're frustrated about random stuff and they just want to just join up on a cause just to throw hate, you know, into the fire, and that really sucks. So how do I overall, you know, feel about this? How do I overall, what is my solution for making it better? Well, a couple different things that I've seen that have actually worked out, or at least have been in the right direction, because I feel like this is a problem that's not going to go away anytime soon. And I feel like we have all of us, myself included, have to do a much better effort in making this better for everybody. Because I think it's a shame that over the last few years, the gaming community, or just gaming in general, is kind of associated with this bad connotation that we're a bunch of hate mongers on like forums, on Twitter, and all these different places. That's a real shame because our industry could be so much better. Our communities, all sections of gaming communities could be so much better. Why is it that every time when a game comes out and we're so upset at the way it turned out that we immediately want to crucify someone, one individual, and put all the blame on it for the way that it turned out? I mean, can we just acknowledge that just number one, it's a team effort and that just a bunch of people, sometimes things just don't come together right? We could feel that however we could feel about the way that a game turns out, but I don't think it's right to really put the blame on just one individual, let alone a company for that matter. And also, I don't feel it's right to really be so vicious towards these people because not only do they put their blood, sweat, and tears into these games, no matter how you feel the game turned out, subjective or not, whatever it might be, I don't think it's right to really kind of put the weight of the world, to put the fear of God into them because you feel like it just didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to. Because Mass Effect Andromeda didn't turn out like as this epic 10 out of 10 masterpiece to you. Immediately you feel like, you want to expose somebody on Twitter, you want to kind of DDoS them, you want to kind of, put all their information out there. You want to kind of look for every excuse in the book to say like this person was unqualified to work on this game, yet, it might have never been their fault in the first place, but you feel like you want to just put it all on them like that. That's just so wrong, and that's a mentality that I've seen from so many people, so many individuals online on like places like Twitter, on like Facebook, Instagram. It's insane to me how this is still a problem over the last few years in the gaming community. It's like people just either don't grow up or they just don't want to move on from crazy stuff. Everybody wants to throw hashtags around like Gamergate, hashtag expose, or all these other like crazy things and all these crazy notions about the gaming media, about the game development cycle, and all these different things. And like everybody's just kind of like, forgetting about what the real issue is at hand, is that people are just frustrated and they're just looking for every excuse in the book to remain frustrated. And that's a real problem. So for me personally, even though I have my own opinions about games, it's part of my job to have an opinion about video games in general, no matter what game it is. There are games that I've loved, that I've criticized, there are games that I've really hated, but also understood why they ended up being the way that they were. But I would never actually go out and actually target one specific individual or one particular entity as like the reason for everything that's wrong within the gaming community or just the gaming industry in general. I think that's totally messed up. Way too many people have that mentality, and way too many people need to understand is that we need to be better ourselves as people in order to help our industry flourish and actually grow and be better overall. It's funny because not too long ago, I went to PAX East, right? And I went to Kind of Funny's panel, and I saw Greg Miller there. And Greg Miller said a really good quote, or at least a good line, or a good piece of nugget of info, or wisdom, I should say, that, in relation to everything that was going on with Kind of Funny, because I feel like those guys are going through a lot of turmoil and a lot of ebbs and flows right now, which is a whole another discussion you could get into. I'll probably do it someday. But he said that we all need to be better people. We all need to be better to ourselves, and we need to be better to each other. And that's very true. And it's not just for what's going on with Kind of Funny and that Kind of Funny community, that gaming community. It could be applied to the entire gaming industry. It could be applied to the entire gaming community, into the gaming space, and every other community that's out there. I feel like now these days, especially this last year, has been so kind of hostile in a variety of different ways. Everybody's just so mad at each other, and everybody's so on edge about almost everything and stuff, that we seem to forget that we're all people and that we're all individuals that share a common interest, that we just can't be better. We can't just be better human beings to each other. We have to have this clan mentality that we get so caught up on, whether it's competition or just forming an identity or looking for an identity, that we don't understand that that's another human being on the other side of the actual screen. That's another human being on the other side of the world. And it kind of sucks to see so many people be so nasty and be so angry and frustrated towards one another, that, again, it's a damn shame. So hopefully, within the next, year or so, however long it takes us to get over this, but this is something that we need to get over. And this is something that we have to actually put an effort into getting over. Hopefully, that seems to be the case. Hopefully myself and the way that I talk to you guys and the way that I conduct myself online and such can actually give you guys an example, can actually help you guys, give you food for thought, and actually show you, like, listen, we don't need to go after individuals over dumb shit. We can actually just have discussions. We can actually talk about stuff. We can actually work together to make our community and make our hobby and make our passion and our pastime and our medium so much more interesting, so much more better as we move on forward with each year. So Anyway, I know I'm rambling on a little bit. This is just something that just got me frustrated a little bit. Just, you know, talking about frustrating is making me frustrated. It's just crazy to me how we kind of still get caught up on this stuff, even like a year or two after all the craziness that happened with Gamergate and all this other like crazy, ridiculous, like, you know, nonsense that's happened within the gaming hemisphere. Again, don't be a dick. Don't be a jerk. Don't go around hating on one particular person. Understand that, like, when a game comes out the way that it does, it's not because of one individual. It's usually because of a bunch of different factors, whether it's the team, whether it's the software, the tech, all these other different things. There's a million and one different reasons why things turn out the way they do. And I don't think it's right to kind of place all that blame on one particular entity or one particular person. We have to be better as not only gamers, but as human beings in that regard. So anyway, guys, that's just my thoughts on everything that's going on. I feel like these are really important issues that we should be discussing, that we should be kind of tackling head on, and not so much in the way, you know, to be so vitriolic towards each other and so nasty to each other. Leave me a comment down below in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about all this. Please do, for God's sakes, you know, in order to keep with the actual point I'm trying to make, don't be a jerk to each other online in the comment section. Again, there's just a bunch of nasty people out there that just want to be nasty to each other, and they don't want to help the issue at hand. They just want to make things worse in order to just kind of like stand on their soapbox. Don't be one of those people. I'm cool with discussion. I'm cool with kind of clashing and debating ideas, but don't be an asshole, okay? That's the best way that I could put it. I know I'm cursing a lot, but just bear with me here. I'm trying to make a point with all that regard. Besides that, guys, I got new vlogs and new videos that are coming very soon. I'll have a couple other links in the description box below to some really cool stuff that I was a part of not too long ago. I've been on podcasts recently talking about Iron Fist. I actually reviewed the entire series here on my channel. I have also a spoiler-free review that actually is over on the Koalition.com. I talked about PAX East recently, and I have a bunch of other cool stuff involving IGN that's also up on the website right now. So definitely, I hope you guys enjoy all that. All those links will be in the description box below. I will talk to all of you guys again very soon. Be good to each other, have fun, keep gaming. Peace out, stay epic, everybody.